When you have the inspiration to start any endeavor, could be a new job, a new business, going to school, a relationship, whatever it may be, that inspiration is like a trail of breadcrumbs leading you not to what you can imagine from where you are now, because that's your current perspective. You can't even imagine where that trail will lead. And so when you start thinking about the inspiration that's coming to you and you use your imagination to think about what could become of this if I take action on this inspiration, many, many, many times your imagination will lead you to a dead end, to something you think you don't want. And this will cause a block in action. The inspiration, from our perspective, is to do one thing and one thing only: alter your mental construct. You see, when you exist in non physical, you exist as a collection of energy, of vibration, and that collection has come through physical lives, through being in physical reality. To expand that energy, those vibrations, that interest that you may have in the non physical, you choose to have a physical life. So you are born into the life that you're born into. And that leads you on a journey of experience, attracting your whole life through. What are you attracting? Well, whatever you're interested in and whatever you desire. The moment you birth a desire, you have a vibration that's being emitted from you. And that vibration brings to you these breadcrumbs. If you pick up the breadcrumbs thinking that they're going to lead to what you believe you want, you are going to miss most of them. But if you realize that the only thing that's going on here is that you are moving into a new mental construct, a new set of beliefs, a new perspective of yourself in your reality, and you are also expanding along the way. So the process of life in a physical reality is one of expansion. How does that expansion occur? You birth a desire, you create a new vibration, and that desire is being attracted to you. Not so that you can have the thing that you want or be relieved of the things you don't want, but so you can go on a journey of experiences and expand your perspective. This is adding to who you are. You are evolving or expanding along the way through these experiences. But when you use your imagination to imagine the worst that could possibly happen, you cut yourself off from this journey of expansion. Now, this is happening all the time, over and over and over again. And you are acting on inspiration. The proof is you're here. You're on this call now, whether you're here now or listening to a later date. You found this because you've acted on inspiration. This information, just in the purely intellectual sense, is expansive. But when this information alters your belief system, that's when experiences start to happen, because your mental construct is expanding, your perspective is expanding, and your vibration is expanding. But you can't ever imagine where all of this is going to lead, because it is unimaginable from that current perspective. You just don't have the access to these possibilities. They come along the way. Now, for you to become a match to whatever it is you want, and you can be, have, and do anything in this reality, you must alter that mental construct, that set of beliefs that cause you to believe who you are in your reality. It has never been true. All past mental constructs that you've had of yourself have been limited by comparison to where you are now. You have expanded through every interaction, every experience, everything you've done in your life to where you are now. This is an expanded mental construct, an expanded perspective, and an expanded vibration. It's attracting more and more and more, but it is out of focus generally. It is out of bounds generally. And it is determined based in who you think you are, your identity. It is limited now compared to who you will become. And to bring anything into your physical reality, any desire, you must become a match to that. You don't know how to become a match to that, because if you did, you could simply become that match. And that desire would manifest into your reality instantly. But it would only be by the perspective that you have now, what you can imagine now. And therefore, it wouldn't be unimaginable. It wouldn't be interesting. It wouldn't be what you truly want. What you truly want is to go on this journey to have these experiences, whether they be manifestation events that bring up negative emotion and point out limiting beliefs, or manifestation events that bring out positive emotion and point out beneficial beliefs. All of these things that are happening to those who do not know about the mechanism of physical reality are happening haphazardly, yet they're being interpreted from a limited perspective without information. And so you could say the limited perspective is the perspective without information. We in the non-physical have access to all information, and so do you, but you don't believe it. We do not have any limitations based in the illusion of separation. We don't have any limitations based in desires based in limitation. We don't forget who we are as you do. And so we have access to all the information. Therefore, our perspective is extremely high. Without knowing who you truly are, remembering who you truly are, without understanding the mechanism of physical reality, with the perception that you are separate, it becomes challenging. But this is the challenge that you want, because you are mavericks and leaders and teachers, and you are explorers and adventurers. You've allowed your mental construct to open up to the extent that you can understand these words that we're saying through Gary right now. This is evidence of an extremely high perspective in human terms. But there is far more for all of you to go. How do you get there? You get there through inspiration. So the inspiration may come to start a business. You may imagine the business being successful and you being financially secure. This may be something you want because you don't feel financially secure now. That feeling of financial insecurity is based in lack of information, because you have and will always have everything you need to do whatever you need to do. But if you don't need to do it, it need not come. And so when you're thinking about starting a business, you can imagine it is not to gain the financial security that you believe you lack. It's to expand that perception of yourself. And so what's going to happen when you start this business? You're going to be shown your limiting beliefs in manifestation events. If you're aware of this, well, you certainly have a leg up, because you can suddenly see, oh, I am not financially secure because of this belief that's been brought up through this manifestation event. Now I can do the work through the manifestation event form and process it. Others do not understand this. So one of the interesting things about the inspiration that you're all being given is that by following that inspiration and moving into those manifestation events and processing that belief and allowing your mental construct to expand through experience, you become an example to others. What could you become if you knew how this reality worked? What could you become if you understood that you had an inner self, that everything was working out perfectly for you, and that you are the creator of your reality? What could you become if you acted on the inspiration and expected the manifestation events and were not thrown off by them? What could you become if you realized that many of your desires are based in fear and lack, and they aren't what you truly want? And this is the cause of many of your manifestation events. What could you become if you allowed yourself to be led by inspiration through new experiences, even though you do not believe that it'll lead to what you truly want. If you had faith that those inspiring ideas were breadcrumbs to move you on a journey to experience the life you truly want to live, you would follow them not all at once, but one by one. When you put your route in GPS, it doesn't show you the entire route, it shows you the next turn. And that's what inspiration is. It's not to lead you to any destination, but only to the next experience. The next experience has information. You collect that inspiration by seeing the experience as perfect. If you see the experience as wrong or bad, if it's a manifestation event, brings up negative emotion, and you say that should not have happened to me, you miss the information. But if you see the experiences as moving you towards the life you truly want to live, that you can't imagine what that is now, then you will gain the information in these experiences. With this single idea that we're bringing to you now, you can literally have, be, or do anything, but you have to do and you have to be in order to have, because the manifestation does not come to you until you become a vibrational equivalent to that thing. And when it comes, you'll be after the next one and the next one. And it never ends, and you can't get it wrong, and you can't miss out, and you cannot lose, and you cannot fail, because you're expanding no matter what you're doing. But if you want to expand in joy, to shift your perspective massively in this lifetime, the way to do it is receive and follow the inspiration. With that, we'd like to talk to you about anything you'd like to talk about. Who'd like to start?